I have often heard the story of Mary Magdalene and thought I had heard it all, only to discover that I really had no clue at times how significant this woman was in the life of the early church. She witnessed Christ's crucifixion. She was at Calvary and stood there at the foot of the cross. She participated in Christ's burial, and she was among the first to go to the tomb and discover that it was empty. How did she come to have such a great devotion to Christ? Well, John told us today. She was burdened with demons. And John said there were 7 of them. And Christ exorcised them from her. He lifted the veil that covered her eyes and he set her free. No mention of what the burdens that she carried were: an illness, a rejection, the loss of a loved one. Whatever it was, and whomever they were, Christ set her free. Her response: she followed him and she never left his side. And one can only wonder if in the first encounter with Jesus, when he lifted the demons who imprisoned her, if it was the same loving expression of compassion and love that she again experienced in that encounter when Jesus turned to her and asked, "Why are you weeping? Whom are you looking for?" And hearing his voice and seeing his loving gaze, he called her by name. She could not contain her joy. She had to run and tell the others. And on her lips, the sequence that we sing at Easter places this cry of joy: Christ, my hope, has risen. Her story is the story of countless men and women who have experienced forgiveness and freedom from the hands of Jesus. But Mary Magdalene took it a step further. Her gratitude was so profound that she could not contain herself, and she followed him and stayed with him. No pain, no cross, no trial would wipe away that moment when her eyes first met his and she was set free. And like the poem in the reading from the Song of Songs, she went in search of him everywhere, thinking at first that he was nowhere to be found, but she was relentless in her search, and she did not give up because he had not given up on her. Jesus never gives up on any of us. And the exchange today between Mary Magdalene and Jesus is a reminder to each one of us to keep searching, and yes, keep praying until those eyes of compassion rest upon us and we hear him call us by name.